Getting your visa approved these days in embassies like Ghana and Nigeria is standing out. Don't go and repeat the cliche things, the overly used things that people repeat. Sell yourself and let your story speak for you. If you're applying for any type of visa in the US, before you go to the visa interview room, this video is for you. It will help you prepare, it will help you understand the process, and it will help you get your visa approved. Sometimes many people don't take care of some of these things, and you find some of these things only on our channel. So the first thing you must do is to be organized. Have all your papers ready. Go to your DS-160 confirmation page. Go to your appointment confirmation page. Ensure that they match. Ensure that you have your CV's fee. Ensure that you have your visa fee receipt. Every necessary document that you need, ensure you get it. Then arrange it in order of importance. Your passport picture, DS-160 confirmation page, your visa application, interview appointment confirmation page, your I-20 if you are coming as a visitor, your bank statement. All those important details must come first. Arrange them first and make sure that they are authentic, they are consistent with the information you put on your DS-160. It is important. Being organized is very key. Some people go for the interview and the visa officer asks a document and they take forever to find it. It brings pressure on them and they lose focus and it gets their visa refused. So when you are going, before you go for the visa interview, take time to go through all your documents. Ensure, have a checklist, mark and ensure that every document is readily available. Get a clear file and put your document in it. Sometimes you can have a way to indent your document so that you know which document comes first and which document comes second. Whenever you are giving a document to a visa officer, make sure you tell the visa officer what document is. Even if he asks for a bank statement, just hand over to them. This is my father's bank statement. This is my bank statement. That is very, very important. Sometimes if you have documents like letters and all that, it is important to use markers, right? Or highlighted to highlight important issues. For example, you receive a scholarship. You can use highlighter to highlight the scholarship amount, everything, so that the visa officer can easily see it. So get organized. The next important thing you must know before you go for your visa interview is to be confident and articulative. Many people get a visa refused not because they don't qualify, but because they allow what happens in the interview room to affect their preparation and their focus. I understand. Sometimes, you see, you go for the interview and you can stand in a queue for over 4 hours. Your interview is, let's say, 8 o'clock. You get to the visa embassy around 7 a.m. and you are interviewed around 12. So because of the number of people that we stand for a long time, then we begin to feel anxious, we begin to feel tired, then we are hungry. So that affects our focus. We don't remain sharp and that affects our confidence. When you are not speaking with confidence, when you are guest speaking, when you are not, you are anxious, it signals something to the visa officer and that can get your visa denied. So make sure you are confident, make sure you are articulative as you appear for your visa interview. It is very important. Don't worry about the visa officer you get. Sometimes you are in a queue and people are being denied by one particular visa officer, so you want to avoid that. Sometimes that can affect you, especially if that is the visa officer you get. So get prepared. And at the interview room, listen to what happened. Don't let that influence you. Of course, everybody is being denied. It doesn't mean you'll be denied. Everybody is being approved. It doesn't mean you'll be approved. Stick to your story. I have prepared students and I have guided them on the particular story and strategies to stick to. They get to visa interview room and somebody said something to get his visa and he also go and say the same thing and leave his story. Most of us are too copy too much. We have to be true to ourselves. We don't have to copy everything that people say it worked for them. Sometimes we can also be genuinely different from them. And I tell people, getting your visa approved these days in embassies like Ghana and Nigeria is standing out. Don't go and repeat the cliche things, the overly used things that people repeat. Sell yourself and let your story speak for you. What you say must match your application. Now, when you go for the visa interview, don't forget that you have already submitted your visa application form, your DS-160 form. On the visa form, you stated that you intend to stay for 2 weeks. Don't go and tell the visa officer that, oh, I want to go and stay for 3 months. If there has been a change in it, alert the visa officer. If the visa officer asks you, how long will you be staying? So I'll be staying for 3 months. Initially on my form, I wanted to stay for 2 weeks because I had not gotten my vacation leave approved. But now I've gotten my vacation leave approved, so I intend to stay for 3 months. So then you clarify. Make sure that you remain consistent, because the visa officer open your visa form, they look at the information on the visa form, you feel that you receive a salary of 40,000 naira. And now when the visa officer asks you, how much do you make? You say you make 80,000. That would be like a contradiction. That would be like you are lying. For example, sometimes the 40,000 naira you stated in your I-20, your DS-160, sorry, is the actual money you receive. You have other businesses that gives you money. Then clarify at the visa interview. The visa officer do not know anything unless you tell him or her. So clarify that, oh, I receive a salary of 4,000. However, I also run a granite selling business, or I also sell boxes that gives me about 45,000 monthly. So in total, I earn about 85,000. Clarify. You must be consistent. It's very important. Anticipate eventualities. You know, sometimes you prepare people to go for the interview and they behave like robots. Because you told them that they will ask you some of these questions, when they get there and they ask them any question, they cannot reason outside the question they are prepared for. Anticipate any question. The visa officer can ask you any question from anywhere. Just be prepared. Just be ready. Those who get their visas are people who prepare smart, who are smart to connect what they've prepared for. There are times they ask you a question you have not prepared for. Be smart. Like when visa officer asks you a question you have not prepared for, you have to be able to draw from so many ways to answer. I remember when I went for my second visa interview, the visa officer asked me, what do I do? I said, oh, I work for a church. And he asked, how much are you paid? I had not prepared for that, because I didn't expect them to ask me that. I said, then I had to immediately be smart. I said, oh, because I work for the church, it's like a volunteer job. The church gives me accommodation and they gives me monthly stipend for my monthly living expenses. That wasn't actually true, but it was something I have to think about it at the spot of the moment, because I wasn't being paid salary, and if I say I wasn't being paid salary or nothing, the business officer will be like, so how do you take care of yourself? You are living in Accra, you are working with a church, and the church is not giving you anything. How do you take care of it? And that will take you into another issue. So you always have to prepare for anything, every question. And the last thing is that know your why, your what, your who, your where, and your when questions. The visa officer may ask you, why are you going to the United States? What are your plans after your studies? Who is sponsoring you? Where will you be staying? And when will you return? These are some of the common questions that the visa officer will ask you. Know all these questions. Know all the list of questions. You can check our channel. We have a lot of videos on some of the questions you must prepare for. Go get yourself familiar with some of these questions. Don't copy cliche answers on the internet. Don't use ChatGPT to answer questions for you. Personalize your answers, and that will help you get your visa approved. Visa officers are looking for authentic and genuine applicant who doesn't sound rehearsed, applicant who doesn't sound disloyal, or who doesn't sound that they are lying. So make sure that you prepare so well. If you need help, guidance in preparing, sometimes you need somebody to sit you down to take you through some of the questions and help you articulate your story and push it well. I always tell people, it's not everything that you must tell the visa officer. Sometimes you have a good story, but that good story must be modified. You cannot tell visa officer all the things in your life, because some of it will sound shady and get your visa approved. And if you need any help, any direction, reach out to us. We'll be willing to help you. Our team will be willing to help you, coach you, and prepare you for your visa interview. Everyone in 10% get their visas. 9 people get denied. So in that case, you must make sure that you work hard, you prepare well, so that your effort wouldn't be in vain. It costs more to go for a second visa interview than to prepare well and get your visa approved. As always, remember that theology is fine.